Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Illinois High School Association football on the YouTube channel. I am Mark McAndrew, and with me tonight is my broadcast partner, Rick the Body Guerin. Rick, how exciting is this opening night?
Mark, let me tell you something, buddy. On a scale of 1 to 10, this is about a 300. It is so great to see people in the stands, to see two great teams play against each other here. I'll tell you what, I've been excited for this one all week. I can't even imagine how these players are feeling. This is going to be a ball.
Let me set the table for you. This is Benet Academy opening up against Naperville North. Post-COVID season, so this is the first full season back from the pandemic. I can tell you we've got a capacity crowd here at Benedictine University, and this is the rumble in Lisle, because I'm telling you, there's a lot of guys who are playing tonight that played in youth football against each other. A lot of people in the stands who know each other.
A lot of bragging rights in this one, right? First time with the crowd in front of you, post-COVID, first game of the year. This was always a great rivalry. I expect a flat-out shootout tonight with a couple of high-powered offenses going at it. And Mark, no two teams were hurt more last year by COVID than these two, who didn't know if they were playing week to week. So this is going to be a lot of fun. I'm not sure what to expect other than it's going to be a blast.
Eric Lorenzo kicks off for Benet. It's going to be fielded at about the 20, and he stumbles, and he's taken down at about the 15 or 16-yard line. That was number 10, Ryan Gilligan.
Gilligan setting the tone right away with a nice tackle, putting North back deep in their own field position. But, I'm hearing a lot about this offense. You've got a lot of playmakers here on this North offense, but they have a lot to handle with the two defensive ends that Bennett's going to be throwing at them in this game. The pressure will be on Aiden Gray.
You mentioned Aiden Gray. He's a returning starter from last year. He's number 12, and you're going to see him throw it a lot. He's got a great arm, Rick.
Yeah, he's got some guys to throw the ball to. He's got a couple of good running backs. If he can get the protection, he could cause a lot of problems.
He looks left, now rolls right. He's got some pressure, and he's hit behind the line of scrimmage, and that's going to be a sack for the Red Wing defense.
Well, let me tell you something. If you're playing Benet Bingo at home right now and you hear me say the name Pierce Walsh, get used to it, because he just put the pressure on that play right there and absolutely gave great fits. Got away from it, but adjusted the entire play. Great play by that Benet defense.
Pretty big line for Benet on the defensive side. Dylan McGivney on the one defensive end, and you mentioned Pierce Walsh on the other. Now an inside handoff, goes over the left tackle, picks up maybe 2 or 3 yards, and that's going to bring up a 3rd and 7, I would say.
Well, Mark, I think you're going to see a lot out of that today, out of the Naperville North team. Try to keep it away from those ends, keep them honest. Work the middle of the field, work those front 7, those linebackers, make the safeties come up and have to cheat. Offensively,
Naperville North has 8 returners. Their running back is number 25, Ethan Robert. The guy's a senior, and let me tell you something. Cannonball is the word they use to describe this guy.
Yeah, he's a downhill runner all day long here, so he's going to cause some problems.
We've got an early flag right at the snap. Encroachment on the defense. So that's going to go from a 3rd and 8 to a 3rd and 3.
Well, that's a big difference there, right?
Yeah, much more manageable 3rd down.
Yeah, a heck of a lot more options when it's a 3rd and 3 versus 3rd and 8. We'll see what they're going to come out with, but they're going to play out of the shotgun this entire game.
Gray hands off to the right side. And that's Ethan Roberts, and that guy, I'll tell you, a cannonball, but he's got some speed.
A lot of speed in the corner, but that's going to come back, Mark. We got a hold on the outside there. The official was all over it, threw it right away. Negates what would have been a 1st down and then some at midfield. Now you're putting yourself in 3rd and long.
So North, as we mentioned, has a lot of returners on the offensive side of the ball, including wide receiver Zeke Williams, his brother Luke Williams, 2 really dangerous receivers that you're going to see Aiden throw to a lot tonight.
Yeah, Zeke is a senior. Luke is a sophomore. They have the weapons. This is a team in their last 3 games of last year. They averaged 36.5 points a game. So they're going to put some points up. But I will tell you, this Benet defense is stout. They're fast. They're disciplined. It's not going to be easy to come by.
Matthew Pasteris comes in as a late sub here. He's on the near sideline. Aiden Gray calling out some signals. Now he's going to step back in the shotgun formation. He's going to take a snapping drop straight back. Now he's looking over the center. He's got a receiver wide open who breaks a tackle at the 40. Now he's at the other 40, the 30, the 20. He's going to go all the way. That's number 5, Luke Williams, just as promised.
Well, we
were
just talking about him. He split that secondary and went for a long gain. And I'll tell you what, you can't let a guy like this get behind you. The second he gets behind you, you're going to have a heck of a time with him. And you know what that does too, Mark, which makes me a little bit more nervous as a Benet fan, is that opens up that running game too, when you've got to put so much effort on Williams.
But you're exactly right. He split that and ran right down the seam, and you've got to give Gray credit because he hit him perfectly in stride. He made one move. He got a nice block downfield, and he was gone. Wow, the speed there was amazing.
Yeah, that was legit speed on that one. There's no doubt about it.
Kicking for the Huskies is David
Quick extra
Olano.
point is good, and Benet down early, 7-0. While we have a little break here, I've got some of the best athletes in Naperville. They're only in 7th grade, but they're coming up here right now. I've got a Mason, a Connor, and a Ricky. Did you guys see that last touchdown?
Yeah, yes. It was pretty great.
Well, it was pretty great if you're a North fan, but if you're a Benet fan like I am, it was a little bit more difficult.
Great for them.
Great for them. It should be a great game. Where are you guys sitting in the stands?
Nowhere. We can't find a seat.
Well, I understand that. So just walk around, and if you really feel like it, go grab your dad a Diet Coke and come back up and visit. All right, well, if the line goes down, come back up. I got to get back on the air. Bye, guys.
So with 9:59 left to go in the first quarter, it's Naperville North 7. And, you know, I knew there was going to be a high power or high scoring, powerful offense, but I have to be honest with you, Rick, that surprised me even.
Listen, this is a great rivalry, as we talked about at the beginning. Benet and North, a couple of teams, even though you've got brother versus brother, cousin versus cousin, friend versus friend, there's bragging rights on the line. So the quickest way that you can rectify this situation is you come out and you put points on the board. If Benet can come out with either a quick strike or a sustained drive, this game goes back to 0-0.
Back for the Red Wings is number 3, Andrew Manuel, and number 4, Joe Keogh. They're right at the 5-yard line. And once again, the kicker for the Huskies is David Olano. And I saw him before the game. He's got a good leg, Rick.
Well, here's a guy I want you to watch out for on defense, and that's Julian Sampson, number 1. Back from an injury last year, a tremendous athlete. Very, very focused for this game. I got a chance to speak with him before the game. Really excited to play against Benet. Really excited for his senior year. You got to remember, these seniors didn't have a football season last year.
Great point. Great
right?
point.
So you're talking about 2 years of built-up energy that these kids have and have been preparing for these games.
No.
Should be outstanding. But let's see how Benet reacts.
And it's a great point because North was really hit by COVID. They only played 3 games total last year. They finished 2-1. But back to that offense, they were averaging 36.6 a game last year in those 3 games. So they were scoring last year as well.
They definitely have some weapons like they haven't had in the past few years. I know from talking to the coaching staff, they were really excited about what their offense could be.
On the first play of the game, Picciolini fakes a handoff to Forney and hits a receiver.
It was
right
Walsh.
at about
So the name I told you you're going to hear a lot on defense?
Yes.
The same goes for the offense. Here's a guy 6'4", 6'5", good hands, good route runner. They put him all over the field on offense. He's a matchup nightmare for these guys. Believe me, I'm sure that Coach Drendel has prepped as much as he can, but when you have a guy that can move around the field like that, it's still tough to contain.
This is Picciolini's first start on a varsity level, so I think you're going to see a lot of short passes like that to build his confidence, and quite honestly, to see if this offensive line can hold back the Husky defensive line.
Well, and he was looking for Walsh again there. That's going to be his first look every time. What you don't want a young quarterback to do is to get too used to looking at one guy, right? He's got to look at the field, check down 1, 2, 3, and make sure he keeps that defense honest.
Yeah, Walsh is a defensive end, but he's tight end, but he's 6'4", so you're going to see some matchup problems. Here's an inside handoff, and Forney breaks 1, 2, 3 tackles and he's still going. He's into Husky territory, and a great run by Carson Forney.
I don't know if the folks at home can hear that right now, or they're about to, but that's the difference of what a year makes, with the full crowd sitting here. Tons of people from North here, tons of people from Benet, obviously, but it's so great to build that excitement. And believe me, the players feel that too.
Forney, 6 foot 175, just a bear to tackle. He's also a linebacker. You'll see him on both sides of the ball, and a tough defensive player. Now, Picciolini delivers out there to the right side, and that's number 85, Michael Heiberger. And unfortunately, Heiberger was turning upfield before he caught it.
That's exactly
but it was right on the numbers.
You know, it's encouraging to see that the quarterback threw that ball right on the numbers like that. The receiver turned his head a little bit early, and you're right, was looking up a little bit early for that one.
2nd and 10, inside handoff to Forney again, and this time he's hog-tied and brought down at the 42 of the Huskies.
Puts the Red Wings in a 3rd and 6, which is always kind of a tough position, not only for the defense, but for the offense here, right? You've got a lot of options you can look at. You want to at least get 3 or 4 here and put them in a decision that you want to go for it on 4th down.
Heiberger's out here to the near side. He's got a slot on this side as well. Picciolini's got a receiver open the middle. That was number 10, and that was a little high.
Well,
that was to Ryan Snell.
And you know what that is? That's obviously first game jitters right there. There's a receiver in Snell who was open. First down was right there, and he just got overshot by the quarterback.
There's no doubt about it. He was open. It was a nicely designed play. I think he would have had the first down. Unfortunately, it was a little bit high, so now they're going to have to punt. Hopefully we'll bury him deep within the Huskies' territory. We'll see what happens here.
Mark, is that Williams who's back? Zeke Williams is back, yep.
Oh, it goes off the side of his foot and not what the Red Wings were looking for. That's not a good punt. That's going to be going out at the 30-yard line.
Well,
that's actually Picciolini is the punter as well, and he's obviously fired up. He's really amped up. He's got to just bring it down.
Yeah. I mean, if you're the coach right now, you recognize that this is, you mentioned earlier, his first varsity start. He's playing in a big game at home under the lights on a beautiful night against a rival. He just needs to take a breath, calm down, and do what he does in practice, and he'll be fine.
Ethan Robert to the right of Aiden Gray. Gray standing right at about the 25-yard line of the Huskies. He looks immediately to his left. He's got pressure from Walsh. Now he rolls to his right, throws a sidearm shot. He was looking for number 88 for the Huskies.
I got to tell you,
That's
I think
Ashton Graham, and it was a little bit behind him, quite honestly.
It was, but, you know, again, let's credit Walsh with the pressure. So he had to get out of the pocket. He rolled to his right, didn't throw a strike to him, but it all starts with that defensive pressure. And 19 right now has been called quite a bit, and we are only halfway through the first quarter.
We talked about the experience of the Huskies on offense. They're a little bit more inexperienced on the defensive side. Benet on the other side has got a lot of talent, but unfortunately not a lot of depth, Rick. You're going to see a lot of guys playing both ways, which is going to be a factor in this heat.
Well, we saw that in the sophomore game beforehand, right? You've got a smaller roster. You've got kids having to play both ways in 90-degree heat. They were smart about it. They gave a lot of water breaks. They made sure the kids were hydrated. Easy for us to say up here, you know, in a box looking at the game. But when you've got the pads on and the helmet on, it's a different story.
Ethan Robert on the carry. He picked up about 4 yards. That's going to bring up a 3rd and 6 for the Huskies. Bennett's going to have to really clamp down here, get the ball back, and see if they can get in the end zone.
I've never one to exaggerate too early, but I really feel like this is a big play for the Benet defense.
Inside handoff to Robert again. He's going to be stopped well short.
You know, you've had success rolling out, Mark, and hitting some of these playmakers that North has. Not sure I like the play call there unless you're planning on going for it on 4th down, no matter what it is.
Dylan McGivney with the tackle there. He's the other defensive end, and I will tell you that's a great bookend of defensive ends with him and Walsh. McGivney's a big, strong guy. And, Rick, it looks like they're going for it. And I got to tell you, I'm surprised, unless they're going to just try and draw them off sides.
I'll be shocked if they snap the ball, Mark.
It's 4th and 4. Gray tries the hard count. Bennett's not jumping.
I don't think they have any intention of getting this ball
he does
off.
it again.
Yeah.
And now they're going to call a timeout.
And you know what? There's nothing wrong with that.
No, why not try it and see if you can get a offsides and keep the ball going, right?
Try to get a cheapie and come out. And you know what? It forces North to call a timeout, though, so it's a win-win for Benet in that situation. Hey, you know, Mark, we haven't done this for a while, but there's a couple of people I want to call out to who I know are listening. We have fans all over the country. I don't know if you know that. And I think they're mostly yours. But a good friend of mine is over on the other sideline, Bill Karosik, who's one of the coaches. And I'll tell you what, I know there's some people in Golden, Colorado, Diana and Tom Karosik, listening to the game here in Lisle, Illinois. I'm sure there's no place they'd rather be. And I'll be honest with them, I'd rather be in Golden, Colorado, because that sounds fantastic. But thanks for listening, and I hope it's a good game on both sides.
Hello, Karosiks in Golden, Colorado.
That's it, Golden, Colorado.
Let me tell you another little side story, Rick. Tonight's game features a sibling rivalry with Benet senior Joe Keogh facing off against his younger brother and Naperville North junior Luke Keogh. So we've got family issues here. I mean, we got all sorts of problems.
This is the old Civil War. I'm telling you, we're going brother, cousin. It's great to see.
The boys are the proud sons of proud mom and Benet alum Jenny Baylor Keogh, class of '88. And this punt is going to roll dead right at the Red Wing 24-yard line.
Well, Mark, it's what Benet needed. They needed to stop there. They got it. They don't have horrible field position. Let's hope those jitters are gone from the quarterback. He comes out and does what he's supposed to do. I liked the mix of pass-run ratio they had going. We just had a couple of bad passes that happened there. And strictly,
he'll settle down, and I think they'll start rolling here.
That's right.
That Keogh family, I'm telling you, they're all over the place, all over Lisle, Naperville, and the western suburbs. So I'm telling you, there's all sorts of aunts, uncles, and cousins that have graduated from Benet and from the Keogh and Bailick families that are watching tonight's game in the stands or online. So, in addition to Karosiks in Golden, Colorado, how about a big hello to the Keogh family?
Absolutely. Great family, and you're exactly right. There's been a lot of them that have gone through the academy.
Forney off the left side. He's got some running room. He breaks a tackle. He's at the 30, and he's tripped up. He's going to be down to the 37. I love the way this Forney guy's running early on.
Well, he's running really hard, and I just love the misdirection. I mean, that's exactly what you want to do, is you want that defense to overcommit. Give yourselves those seams. Give yourself that room, and that's what he did right there.
Benet employs that zone blocking, so the running backs have some leeway which way they want to cut.
Absolutely.
Here's Forney again. He goes right over that left side, and this time he stopped maybe after about a 2-yard pickup.
Yeah, that play fooled no one. That was right up the gut.
That'll bring up a 2nd and 7, it looks like. $5:49 left to go in this first quarter. Huskies leading 7-0. Here's a slot receiver on a jet. He's got some running room. He's over to the 50. And he's knocked out. Oh, and he does some nice pop. Knocks 6 backwards out of sidelines. And you can tell that Red Wing sideline is fired up.
You know what? They're fired up, but let me tell you something, Mark. He's really, really lucky he didn't catch a flag on that, because you cannot stand over a guy and tell him how hard you just hit him. We all saw it. He feels it. His girlfriend saw it. Just walk back to the huddle.
That's Ryan Snell, a tough kid. But you're right. He's got to be smart, because we don't want to kill our drives with a penalty like that, right? 1st and 10, high snap, but Picciolini fields it. He fakes the inside handoff. Now he's going to roll it to the outside. He's got a blocker in front of him, and he gets out. I think he's got a first down, Rick.
Yeah, I think he just got to that marker. Really a little forward-backward run by the quarterback. Great vision, though, to find out where that marker was. And they're going to call him just short out of bounds, but, boy, from up here it looked like a first down.
Manuel in for Snell. I think Snell got a little banged up. Manuel, a junior. Watch this guy. Really quick. Fun to watch. And this is going to be a design quarterback draw. And Picciolini's got guys chasing him from all over. And he gets popped. And I think he's lucky if he got back to the line of scrimmage.
Well, a couple of things on that one. You know, you had a couple of guys behind him. And a couple guys in front of him. He didn't have a lot of room to go anywhere.
No.
But the sign of a leader and a sign of a kid who wants to go out there and compete is a kid who pops right back up, because I know he felt that. if this is anything else but a run up the middle, Mark, I'm going to go get you a Diet Coke.
3rd and less than a yard. They're going to hand off to Forney. He's going over the right side, and he's got some running room. He's got that and some, and he's down to the Naperville North 14-yard line. First down, Red Wings.
Well, I saved my trip downstairs in that long line for a Diet Coke, but great run. And you know what? The offensive line, I always like to give a shout out to, because nothing happens without that offensive line making their blocks, making their reads.
Not only did the listening audience hear about the Coke, but I think everybody up here in the booth heard you getting us Cokes. So there's some thirsty people up here, Rick. Picciolini, he got back to the line of scrimmage. Not much running room there, and I think he got knocked out of bounds.
You know what I'm seeing on this North defense is they're fast. They've overcommitted on a couple of plays, but they are really fast. They're not letting these guys cut up field around the ends. So all their long runs, Mark, have either gone between the guard or the tackle or right up the middle. And it shows that maybe that's where the strength is of this Benet offense and the way we have to attack.
Here's that jet sweep over to the far side of the field.
See, and that goes back to my point right there. How quickly that defense, those linebackers in secondary, got to the ball carrier.
That was number 8, Kyle Modi, on the jet sweep. And he picked up about 3 yards, so that's going to bring up a 3rd and 7. Maybe 3rd and a long 6. Heiberger to the near side, as well as Eric Lorenzo in the slot here. And we got some movement on that.
Yeah, that was definitely on the Benet side here. I mean, unless I missed something, that's tough. That puts you back in 3rd and long and a pretty obvious passing situation here. Mark, I would watch out for number 19 here. This is where you want to see Pierce look towards that 5-yard, and hopefully he can get himself first down or even a little bit more. Right now you want to look at the toughest matchup that defense has, and 19 is that answer.
Picciolini drops straight back. He throws over here to the near side of the field. He's got a receiver.
That's going to be well short.
That's Modal again, number 9.
I think you're going to see them try to put some points on the board here, Mark. I think you can't come down with a drive after holding that offense last time without getting 3 points.
Yeah. So,
but I'm shooting in our 9 years of doing this together about 32% of guessing these plays right. Let's see how I start off this season.
It's 3:28 left to go in this first quarter. They're at the 11-yard line. It's about 4th down and about 6 yards to go. Picciolini fakes the handoff to Forney. Now he looks to this outside. He's got a receiver, and it's caught. That's number 8.
Beautiful grab.
Kyle Modi with a great catch.
Well, a couple things there. One, a swing and a miss by me saying go for the 3. But what poise by the quarterback. Beautiful pass and a great way to hold the ball.
No, you got to give Picciolini credit. And you know, you brought it up before, but this offensive line has been doing a great job, led by their center, Connor Lapine, number 63. They look like they're not prepared right now because their slot was just getting to the line. They're handing off to Forney. He's got a whole touchdown, and he fumbled it, but he crossed the line. So it's going to be touchdown. Carson Forney. Touchdown, Red Wing Nation.
Great drive, great answer by the Red Wings. I'm glad there's that instant replay because that one would have been looked at again. But that's a touchdown. Let's get the extra point and tie this thing up. Listen to the fans.
God, it is so fun to have the stadium full like this and have high school football back. I can't even tell you. It's snap it down, kick is up.
No good.
And he missed it.
Yeah, you know, it didn't look right from the second he kicked it, guys. It was wide left. They were on it. Well, that's tough, but you get the 6. You're on the scoreboard. Now your defense has got to come and make a stop. But before we go any further, listen, like I said, we've got fans all over the country watching us. 30 miles from us right now in Chicago. One of my favorite families in the world are listening to us. The Dare family and Lexi and Owen, a couple of, I hope, huge football fans and someday Red Wings. Thanks for listening, guys. Your Uncle Rick is going to call you out again later, but be watching this game and go Red Wings.
So with 3:01, we've got an exciting game. I got to tell you, Huskies 7, Red Wings 6.
It was a great drive. The fourth down play, that's a huge play to come down with.
One starter I can tell you that Bennett's missing is Owen Takahashi.
Yeah.
He would have been a two-way starter. I can tell you this kid is dynamic. He's a great receiver and a great hitter on defense. He's out with a lower leg injury, and he's going to be out hopefully this week, maybe coming back the next week. But we're definitely missing Owen. He's a great player, and we hope he's back on the field soon.
Absolutely.
Low line drive kick.
Oh, boy.
Fielded at about the 11. I don't know why I didn't let that go out, but he's running back. He's at the 20, and he's brought down. That was about 40 yards of running for about a 3-yard gain.
Well, it's tough when you're on the field, right? And you're seeing that, and he's a game breaker. So he wants the ball in his hands, but that one probably would have been better served going out of bounds and figuring it out from there. I don't know if there's any people from Diet Pepsi listening in the broadcast that are out there that can send me up a case of it. But it's about 98 degrees up here in this booth, and boy, that would really help me out and probably make the broadcast better in the second half.
Huskies going to take over at their own 20. 2:53 left to go in this first quarter. Gray takes a snap, hands off inside. That's number 25 again, Ethan Robert. He's been seeing all the carries tonight. The other guy you're going to see, I've been told, is number 17, Danny Elo. Okay, and he's kind of the lightning to his thunder. Okay, he's a fast, elusive guy, whereas Ethan Robert is, like you said, a downhill runner who's tough to tackle.
Yeah, and Mark, in talking to some of the coaching staff of the North Side before the game, their second stringer, running back, their second guy in, broke his collarbone early in practice.
Okay.
So, listen, North has got some skilled players, some guys that can move the football down the field.
Zeke Williams on the reception there, picked up maybe a couple yards, so that's going to bring up a 3rd and 5. The ball is at the Husky 22-yard line. They got a slot receiver on the near side. And I believe his brother, the other Williams receiver, is on that far side of the field. Handoff inside to Ethan Robert, and I think they're going to have him just short.
Mark, so far in this first quarter, I'm a little surprised that the Benet defensive line isn't getting more penetration in the interior linemen. I feel like on those runs, it's 3 or 4 yards before the Benet Red Wings are getting a hand on him.
They did give him the first. He looked like he was really short. I'm surprised by that, but he's got the first down, so that keeps the drive going. I agree with you, Rick, but I'll tell you something. You got to give credit to the Huskies' offensive line. They're firing out, and it seems like they're controlling the line. They've got a lot of guys pulling.
Well,
that was Ethan Robert again, this time over the left side.
You know what you're seeing a little bit of too, Mark? Because of the heat that's out there, they're running the ball. They're taking their time to get to the line of scrimmage. That defense of North was on the field a long time.
Yes.
That last drive. So the last thing you can do, or the worst thing you can do, is put that defense back out there and have them exhausted after that long drive. So I actually really like the game plan that North is running right now.
Leading the way for the offensive line is Jack Wackel. He's a senior, 6'1", 245. You'll see him a lot. He's number 56. They've got him pulling a lot. Big gain here. I see a lot of Red Wings getting up slowly. One of them's Pierce Walsh. It looks like he's okay, though. So it's going to bring up a 3rd and short. I think you're... Yeah, I was just going to say their tailback moved a little bit. That was number 17. I told you Danny Elo was going to come into the game. He was a little jumpy trying to get that ball, and I think we've got a false start.
And we got a couple of flags. There was a second flag that came through. I'm not sure what the second call was, but the first one, we got a guy down. A game like this in this kind of heat, Mark, you can practice in it. You can scrimmage with your own guys, but until you're back out there, the amount of cramping that's going to go on. We saw some of it in the sophomore game. You're going to see it in this game. You can hydrate all week, but it's just a heat that you can't get used to.
No, we saw at least a half a dozen kids in
Yeah.
the sophomore game come up with cramps,
Yeah.
and they could barely walk. They had to
Absolutely.
be helped off the field because their legs were cramping up so much.
But that injury there looked like a cramping injury.
Joey
Okay,
Infante
so
coming off the field to take a breather.
Yeah, so that second flag was a face mask, Mark. So it was offsetting penalties. So it's again third, a short 2.
That's
But that's
killer.
what that second flag was. So instead of putting them in an obvious passing situation, boy,
Now
you
we're
really
back
opened
to
the
a
door
short
on
and
that. That's a
third,
tough
yeah.
break for the Red Wings.
Penalties have been killing us so far. Oh, we got movement on the left side.
Well, we just got it right back.
That looked like the left side, the tight end, Jackson Bauer. He's a junior. He's 6'4". He's 215. He's a big boy, but I think he was just a little bit too fired up to fire off the ball.
Yep.
And move just before the snap.
Well, that's a huge break for Benet because now you're putting them in a passing situation here.
Not completely unusual to see that in the first game of the year. You got a lot of guys amped up.
Absolutely.
They haven't played against other teams now for some time. 26 seconds left to go in this first quarter. Man, you're not kidding. They are taking a lot of time at the line.
There's a little bit of movement there too, I thought. But
I don't think they had enough guys on the
No.
line, so Williams stepped up. Gray looks to his right, fires off. He's got a receiver open who's hit immediately.
Beautiful.
Well short of the first down.
Yeah, that's beautiful defense. You're going to let that run and punt and go into the second quarter here with 15 seconds on the clock running.
Brendan Haubar with the tackle. He's one of the corners filling in for Takahashi.
That's it. They're gonna let that quarter run.
So that's the end of the first quarter. Naperville North Huskies 7, Benet Academy Red Wings 6.
We got a commercial for about a minute. You guys are great. Keep it up.
That's it. I'm done.
We've got
Good night.
we've got 108 viewers right now.
That's not bad.
That's pretty good. 518 views. See, that means nothing to me. But 108 confirmed viewers, I'd say it's pretty good,
Good.
especially when the whole entire town is here.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Are they chanting wanker?
So, what's up with Colin?
He just came and just looks at me and just starts. Eyes okay. I feel terrible for him. Welcome back, and we are just about to start the second quarter of a really fun game. Rick, you keep talking about people all over the country. I've got another one for you. Want to welcome John and Ben Richardson, who are out on a visit to the East Coast visiting some colleges, but they want to catch up on the Benet football game, so they're listening in.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And I can't say I blame him.
You're kind of a big deal, Rick. A lot of people are calling in, telling us that, they want to hear you. And since the Cubs are beating up on the Sox right now, they're like, you know what? We're turning this game off, and we're listening to the
Yeah,
Red Wings game.
it's so far it's been a tough day, a tough Friday for this guy. But a lot of time left in this Benet game, a lot of time left in that White Sox game too, Mark.
Go Sox.
Go Sox.
4th and 3, and they're going for it.
I'm shocked.
He's going to drop straight back. He's got plenty of time, stands up in the pocket, delivers a deep ball. He's got a receiver open on the sideline, and that was just a little bit too easy, Rick.
Well, I don't even know where to break that play down. 4th and 3, he had all day to throw that ball, and yet the receiver was still wide open, 25 yards down the field.
Zeke Williams again, so it's not a surprise who they're going to be going to. But you got to give Gray credit. He stood up tall in the pocket, delivered a nice pass, and now they've got a first down in Benet territory.
I'm giving Gray credit. I'm giving the coaching staff credit. And that North, that's a beautiful play and a very, very gutsy play.
Ethan Robert took the ball over the right side. Looked like he was going to try and dip in it at the tackle spot, but then took it outside, picked up about 5 yards. That's going to bring up a 2nd and 5. Bennett strung that out, but Ethan Robert put his shoulder down and made sure he got positive yardage on that play.
Yep.
11:13 left to go. Huskies moving the ball freely at this point. They're at the Red Wing 23-yard line. Gray standing at about the 28. Takes a high snap, hands it off to Robert, who's going to go over the left side this time. And it takes about 2 or 3 guys to bring him down.
So, Mark, it's going back to what I've been saying is where they're getting that initial push is right up the middle. It's it's guard, center, guard. And they're getting 4 or 5 yards with an initial push up that middle. So they're either going to have to cheat those linebackers up, which is going to make those receivers even more dangerous, or these interior linemen are going to have to step it up.
John Weidenbach, the linebacker there, made the tackle. He's a tough kid. He's been starting for the last 3 years now. Robert right up the middle, and I think they're going to move the chains. That's going to be a first down for the Huskies. Weidenbach in with the tackle again. Weidenbach played as a freshman. He didn't started as a sophomore. Now he's a junior, and he's really one of the studs of this Benet defense.
He's a fantastic player. He's a great leader, and he got plenty of playing time that freshman year on this varsity squad. So that's the kind of guy you look for. So when you need a shot in the arm, he's the guy you look for in the middle of that defense.
Really nice linebacker group. Jackson Bayer is their Sam, and over on the will is Carson Forney, their running back. Well, Aiden Gray fired a ball over the center of the field, and that was Zeke Williams who was in the end zone, and he dropped it. Was it his brother, number 5?
That one hit his hands. You know, that's a catch he's making 9 out of 10 times. I actually thought they got away with a couple of holds on that play offensively. Neither were called, but that was a strike that should have been caught. Big break for the Red Wings.
My apologies to Zeke. It was his brother Luke who dropped that pass, but nice pass by Aiden Gray. Gray drops straight back. Now he spins. He's going to roll to his left. He throws it across his body. Oh, my God. He threw it into a crowd, and it looks like they got a completion there. I thought it was an interception at first.
One of the things you've noticed about Gray is when he runs away from the penetration, he spins out, doesn't panic at all. His eyes stay locked downfield, looking for that open receiver, and he's got the arm to do it. I am really impressed in the first half.
Ashton Graham with that completion, and this time Robert in with the score for the Huskies, and that drive looked easy for the Huskies.
Yeah, it did. Mark, though, that the big play there was that 4th and 3, a 25-yard completion that was open. You have a 3-man rush, and yet the secondary isn't there. So there was a breakdown somewhere on that play. But right now, I'm very impressed with the quarterback of the Naperville North Huskies.
Snap is down, kick is up, and it's good. And with 9:41 left to go in this first half, it's the Huskies 14, the Red Wings 6.
Well, I know there's a couple people I hope that are still listening that are also big White Sox fans, and they're struggling through this and the White Sox game, probably more importantly to them. But we got Primetime. Real name is Primetime, Mark. I don't know if you know anyone named Primetime. Dion, that was a nickname. This guy's name is really Primetime.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
True story. And then my guy Barry and Joe, and I think one of them sitting at the game tonight struggling. But guys, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening. Thanks for becoming a Red Wing supporter. We appreciate it, and we're going to pull this one out for you when it's all said and done.
A lot of energy in the stands initially. I got to tell you, it got a little quieter after that second score. The Benet student section is packed tonight. They got the Western theme, which I don't want to be judgmental here, but wearing flannel when it's 98 degrees outside is a tough call. Just saying.
Mark, I went to school in the 90s in college, and girls did that all the time. So maybe it was the wrong time to be born. Maybe it was the wrong time to be in college, but it gave me some flashbacks that I'm not crazy about. I'm not going to lie. Well, 9:41 here in the second. I feel like you're going to see a good drive here by the Benet Red Wings. But Mark, that's the problem when you miss that extra point. Is you've got to get in that end zone twice now when you score to tie this one back up.
Back for the Red Wings, number 4, Joe Keogh, and number 24, Brendan Smith.
Wow.
Deep, high kick. And that's going to be a touchback for the Red Wings.
Yeah, you had mentioned earlier that this kid's got a leg, and he certainly does. Well, Mark, I think what you're going to see here is a similar type of attack by Benet, what North has been doing to them. I think you're going to see them penetrate the middle of the field a little bit more. The short, quick hits, look for those taller receivers, and really try to work the middle of the field. Because right now, you're not going to keep up right now with their speed on the outside. Or at least to this point, we haven't.
Here's a slot in motion. He's on a jet sweep here to that far side of the field. That's number 10. Ryan Snell, and he had a nice pickup just short of the first down, so it's going to bring up a second and short.
He's had a couple of nice runs, and he's been targeted a couple of times at receiver. He's saying something that I don't know if he likes where the spot is or he feels that he might have gotten something in the face, but either way, it looks like there's a little confusion. I was watching number 1 here on the near side, Julian Sampson, on that play. Stick with his guy the entire time to make sure that ball didn't come back around. It was a beautiful play by the corner.
That time they faked the jet sweep, hand it off to Forney over the left side, and he's got some running room, and he's dragged down at the 45-yard line after picking up the first down.
Great job on reversing fields. Number 18 for the Red Wings put down a nice block and got an extra 5 or 7 yards on that play.
18 is Jack Kane.
Mark, that's what we've seen over the Benet, Pat New era, is those receivers never stop blocking down the field, right? They do a great job of keeping plays alive.
And that's a key, because that was a slow developing play because they're faking that jet sweep, then hand off to Forney. This time it's off to Forney off the left side, and he's got another nice gain, knocked out of bounds at the 41-yard line of the Huskies, and they're in Husky territory. Another first down, Red Wings. News trying to get an up-tempo offense. Picciolini takes a snap. This time, hands it off to number 17, Michael Lawler.
He got it back. He fumbled the ball, but he got it back. And he knows it. He's upset with himself on that, but a great recovery to get the ball. Another first down for the Red Wings. And Mark, they're moving the ball pretty well right now.
Yeah, give credit right now. Bennett's offensive line is doing a great job. They're a younger group. Their left tackle is a junior, Aiden Dentis. I was told by the coaches they'd love for him to get a little bit bigger. He's not the biggest left tackle, but great feet. He's got great footwork. Picciolini now fakes it, and it goes over the right side, and he's brought down, but we got a flag on the near side of the field here. I think you're going to see a hold.
I think this is going to come back.
Yeah, you got to hold. Yeah. You hate to see that because that was a nice gain.
The biggest problem with that is it had nothing to do with the play. It's on the other side of the field. So you got a receiver making a hold on something that didn't have anything to do with the play.
Yeah, that's killer.
And right in front of the official.
Right, which you've always told me, if you're going to commit a penalty, don't do it in front of the ref.
Anything in life, don't get caught. It's as simple as that.
That's why you're one of the best life coaches around.
I like to think so.
Wow, that's going to bring up second and a country mile for the Red Wings. They're now back to the 40-yard line. Picciolini hands off. No, he fakes it to Forney, throws it over the right side. That's Manuel, who's got her completion. He's ripped as he gets thrown down to the ground. But a nice pickup.
Benet fans looking for a horse collar tackle. I don't think it was. I think it was just a clean, hard tackle.
Manuel.
You know,
I take it back. I think that was number 8. That wasn't Manuel.
okay.
That was I'm sorry, Kyle Modi with the completion. Nice catch, and he was ripped down to the ground.
It was 3.
Was it 3? Okay, so I was right.
Yeah.
Manuel is a tough kid. He's smaller. He's on the smaller side, but I can tell
Well-
you, he played at Peter and Paul. Tons of speed. Very exciting when he gets in the open
And
field.
I'm not trying to be out of line here, but by year 9, Mark's eyes are going a little bit, folks. So just bear with us a little bit. COVID hasn't been good to him. He's aged fairly well, but not everything is perfect.
You know, that hurts, Rick, especially since I called the correct number. Anyways,
Never second guess yourself, buddy.
2nd and 12 for the Red Wings. Picciolini, he throws the ball up in the air. I think they're going to call it an incomplete pass. It looks,
Nope. They're calling it. The
It's a
clock's still
fumble?
going, so it's a fumble
yeah.
recovered by the quarterback. I don't know how he recovered it.
He went backwards. He tried to release it. It clearly slipped out of his hands. It only went it didn't go straight up in the air. It went forward just a little bit. Thankfully, he recovered. The problem is it's going to bring up a 3rd and 20 now for the Red Wings. What looked as a promising drive looks like a very tough task right now, and he's going to get all sorts of pressure, but it's a screen to Forney over the middle of the field, and he breaks a tackle. He's at the 30, the 27, and he's brought down. He got back really to the original line of scrimmage.
Boy, I am impressed by this kid. He does not go down on the first
No.
or second hit. He keeps his feet moving, and he spins to avoid those tackles.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he had 4 or 5 guys hit him on that play.
4th and 8 for the Red Wings. They are at the 30, 31-yard line of the Huskies, and it looks like they're going to go for it. Why not, Rick? I don't think their kicker's got the leg to kick this, and it's 6:09 left to go in this first half. Why not go for it? Snell in motion, fakes it to him, now throws it over to the middle to Walsh, who bobbles it, but you know what? He was well short of the first down, Rick. And there was Huskies all around him. I think they snuffed out that play. I think you're going to see a lot of Huskies around Walsh for the rest of this game.
I'm going to tell you, you mentioned it earlier. He's moving a little slow. I think he's been hit. He's playing both ways. Again, you're talking about a guy who's playing in the heat, a guy who's going after it. You're right. I think he would have been short of that, but that's when he makes the catch most of the time.
And you know what? Give him a chance to run with the ball and see if he can get the first down, right? Why not at that point? Because it's 4th and 8.
Absolutely. We've got just under 6 minutes, and this Husky offense is back on the field.
Aiden Gray from the shotgun. High snap, recovers it nicely, now throws a quick slant to his slot, who's brought down by number 24. That's Brendan Smith on the tackle.
Well, let me tell you something about Mr. Brendan Smith. I don't know anything about the kid, but if he doesn't make that tackle, that ball it's gone.
Yeah.
Because it was between
Lots of
him
running room.
and a lot of running room. There was nobody behind him, so a great tackle, number 24.
Keogh is a safety here on the near side of the field. Howbar is the cornerback.
Ball's on the
There's a
ground, and Benet
snap.
got the ball.
It looked like,
I think Bennett's got this, Mark.
I think you're right. That's a great
They do.
turnover, and they've got it. And this is a big turnover for the Red Wings.
What a huge break. Nothing but a miscommunication on the handoff.
I think it's one of those reads, obviously, and I don't know if he just put it a little bit too high on his shoulder pads, or sometimes the running back is eager to take it, and maybe Gray wanted to pull the ball out, and
Yep.
it was just a miscommunication.
That's a great play and a huge break for the Red Wings. You know, one of our most loyal guys is sitting in California right now. I don't think he's missed a broadcast in 9 years, and he's a Bennett legend, Neil Fitzgerald. Checking in with us. Neil Fitzgerald. The best basketball player Bennett's ever seen. Sorry, Big Frank.
And you just slighted Porter Mosier. There's a handful of guys. Come
I
on.
cited myself. I cited myself. Number
First
3.
and 10 for the Red Wings from the Huskies 30. Picciolini goes straight back, pump fakes it once. Now he throws a deep pass out, and that was out of bounds anyways. In good coverage by the Huskies.
Well, you throw it to a spot where only 2 people can catch it, right? Your receiver or the out of bounds. That's it. And he made that throw.
That time they had Walsh split out, and like I said, he's going to be a matchup nightmare because of all. Even though he's a tight end, he is really tall, and he's split far right again. This time they're going to hand it off to Forney, who gets bottled up. But to your point, he breaks a tackle again, picks up 2 yards. In the booth with us right now is Pat Patello. He's on the sophomore team. Pat had some unbelievable catches in the sophomore game today. He had an interception early in the game. 2 picks?
2 picks. Not that he's counting.
Several nice kickoff returns, and he had a nice catch for a touchdown. Pat, really nice job today.
Thank you.
Pat, stick here with us for a timeout. I want to ask you a couple of
Picciolini
questions.
scrambles. He's got some pressure, and then he dumps it off to Forney, but Forney drops it, unfortunately. That's going to bring up a 4th down for the Red Wings with 4:38 left to go in this first half. So they have the opportunity. They get the fumble. In 4 plays, they can't move the ball. A little bit frustrated if you're the Benet offensive coordinator.
Oh, absolutely. But, you look at this, and you haven't played your best half of football you're going to play this year. You haven't played flawless football, and you're 1 score from tying this game up.
Picciolini fakes right. Now he's going to roll left. He's going to throw it deep into the end zone. He's got a receiver open. Oh, and it's broken up. If you couldn't see that on TV, number 7, I'm sorry, Haubar was open in the end zone. Ball was a little bit underthrown.
Number 7 made the defensive play. I apologize.
I'm sorry.
That's on me.
Yeah, number 7, that was David Jones, a returning defensive player, I believe, and a great play.
It was a beautiful play.
If he puts a little bit more air on it and maybe throws it deeper in the end zone, I think the receiver had him beat. But you got to give credit to the Huskies for a great stop there. I like the call, though. Why not throw it in the end zone, see what you can do? 4:30 left to go in this first half. Huskies take over at their own 30. And we got a flag.
Somebody must have moved.
Looks like there's
No,
encroachment on the
offsides.
defense.
Yep.
Yeah.
I didn't see the number.
May have just lined up offsides, Rick.
There's not a lot of excuses for a defensive lineman to line up offside when you're sitting there and you're looking at the ball.
Yeah.
Right?
That's tough.
It's one of those things that's 5 yards you don't need to give up.
You guys are the announcers?
Yeah.
1st and 5. Gray back on his own 29-yard line, drops straight back. He's got plenty of time. Now he's going to roll right out of the pocket. He throws to the middle of the field, and it's completed, brought by 3 tacklers, but that's going to be a 1st down at the 47-yard line of the Huskies. He had all sorts of time to throw the ball.
He's got a lot of time. I really thought one of the things that we were going to see in this first half was the defensive pressure that was going to put him on the run and keep him moving.
Pat, from a guy who was on the field, how bad was the heat out there while you were playing today?
Yeah, it was very bad. Hard to concentrate.
And that's without this. I mean, now it's nighttime. I mean, you were playing with the full sun coming at you. What would it cost to have you guys get us a couple of Diet Cokes? Just name your price.
Inside handoff to Robert, who breaks 1, 2, 3 tackles, and he's off to the races. The 25, the 20, the 10. Touchdown. And just like that, the Huskies have scored again. They had him bottled up right up at the line of scrimmage. He broke 2 tackles, and then he was gone. That was killer.
Well, we talked earlier about him being kind of a cannonball type of running back. He was all lightning there because he got in that secondary and there was no Patello to make the tackle. That was a heck of a run, a nice play. And Mark, like I've been saying since the beginning of this game, where did that score? Up the middle.
We talked about the talent on this Benet team, but not a lot of depth. You've got at least half a dozen kids going both ways, and I think you're seeing it right now where they're just wiped out. They're wiped out because of the heat. Extra point is good, and with 3:46 left to go in this first half, I should say, Huskies 21, Red Wings 6.
Can we do 30 seconds? Hey guys, can we do a quick commercial? We have time for a quick 30 seconds. Yeah, do you mind? Hey, come here. Nice job today. You played really well. Offensively, I thought you were a beast. On two of the plays you came out, they ran right through your hole and scored a touchdown. I thought I was going to lose my mind.
What?
When you were on defense.
Oh, when I went out? Yeah.
I know you need a break and you need it, but who came in for him?
He said for
Well, whatever it was, that last two touchdowns went right through that hole. I saw it. I don't know if you're going to make a tackle, but you're going to get a little bit of attention.
whenever I was in that day, it wouldn't have been out.
What did coaches say?
Just, work harder, do better. We could have beat them, we should have beat them.
What about this situation?
Seriously, I think we should.
We got to talk about that off the air.
Yeah. You can't do that against a team like that, right? You got to control the ball.
We're good.
We're back with 3:46 left to go in this first half. Rick, we got some more guests in the booth. Bobbled at the 9-yard line. Dragged forward to about the 22. That was number 4, Joe Keogh. Keogh also a safety on defense. Good kid, tough kid.
Yeah. Yep.
Showing his little brother how it's done. I'm sure he would have liked to break that one and take it to the house to cut this deficit, but we'll take it. Good starting field position.
This has been a great game. I'm impressed with North from top to bottom. I really am. I think they came in, saw that they had to improve on some things and did, and I am really, really impressed. This is a team I'm rooting for, unless they're playing the academy the rest of the way.
Trips to the left. Picciolini fakes to Forney. Now he goes over the left side, and he's brought down by about 4 Husky tacklers.
Hey, listen, I want to say you got a shout out here from the Georgievic family saying they're listening. Longtime North family. Thanks for listening, guys. We appreciate it. And right now, your Huskies look good in every facet of the game.
Hello, Georgievics.
Yeah, they look good. I mean, this is really, I am really, really impressed with what's going on here.
Daniel, a freshman playing up on the sophomore team. He's always been a big, tough kid. I like him a lot. Picciolini drops straight back. Now he's got a rush, and he's going to scramble to his right. He's signaling to Forney to go downfield. Makes the completion. Nice catch. Nice run following it, and he's going to be really close to that first down marker.
Well, you talk about brothers and cousins who play against each other. You've got 2 cousins on that sophomore offensive line that are playing together,
yeah.
Jack and Daniel, and then Griff, another one coming up on the team next year. So football here in the west suburbs is really a family business.
Snell with the reception on that, not Forney. Snell, another nice grab, nice run afterwards. This is going to be Forney over the right side. He's going to have the first down.
Well, this Benet offense right now is running through Forney. He has been outstanding. Running the ball, keeping the legs moving, avoiding the big hit. It's been really, really a good first half for him, despite them being down by a couple of scores.
I always like to give the shout out to the bigs in the front line, right? Nathan Kosiba, the right tackle, Joe Infante, the right guard. We talked about Connor Lapine. I can tell you the coaches said Lapine really worked hard in this offseason and improved himself. And a huge stick by the Huskies. And Forney jumped up and as if to say, I'm all right, you didn't do anything.
And it's a sign of respect again. He got hit, he got labeled, but it was a clean hit, and those are fun to receive or to hit, but not so much to receive.
The left guard for the Red Wings, Cole Higbee, number 7'7". We talked about Aiden Dentise, and then Pierce Walsh is their J-back, who's the tight end, but they'll split him all over the field. Oh, wow. My goodness. Picciolini had absolutely nowhere to go. There was 3 Huskies in his face, and he had no time to deliver that ball.
Mark, right now, this defense, where they look a little undersized, are mixing up their coverages. They're mixing up their blitz packages. they're giving some different looks so Benet can't settle and use what I think is a size advantage up front. So you're really seeing something here that I'm offensively, they're calling a great game, and now in defense, they're doing the same.
One guy who I've seen on the field a lot is a sophomore, Matt Murphy. He's an outside linebacker. We've seen him over the last few years. Really tough kid, very talented athlete. We love to see Murph out on the field.
That's a kid I've coached for a long time. You were part of the program where you got to coach him, and he was typically one of the best athletes and players on the field, and a guy who just hated to lose, which you get 11 of those guys with good athletes and refuse to lose, you're usually going to be in pretty good shape. He's got a heck of a career ahead of him.
Benet in a unfortunately very familiar position where they are third and so long. It's about 3rd and 20 right now. Picciolini's got trips out here to the left. He's going to dump it off to Snell on a quick bubble screen, and they snuffed it out very quickly. Well, and Snell had it and dropped it, so it died very quickly.
Here's the situation with that one, Mark. He wasn't going to get the first down. We know he wasn't going to get the first down. But what happens on that drop pass is now North doesn't have to burn a timeout.
Right.
So the clock stops, and you're giving these guys another shot at the ball. So that's really what the problem was on that one. Not a 6-yard non-completion.
Low snap. Picciolini barely gets it off. That was a great job from him to get that off because he had a lot of pressure. Takes a nice red wing bounce. And it's going to be stopped at about the 44-yard line.
You know, that would have forced, again, that catch, the Huskies to burn their last timeout.
Right. Now they've got
and really put these guys rushing. Now you got a timeout to play with here. You got a kid who can kick the heck out of the ball. So where do you have to get to? The 30? And have a chance to put some points on the board. And they've got a good field position. This is a huge play in this first half for the Benet Red Wing defense. A huge series.
Gray's back at his 39-yard line. He's going to drop straight back. He looks to his left. He's got a lot of time. Now he's going to run with it. He's at the 45, the 50, and he's brought down hard. That was a big hit.
Well, what that was great coverage because he had a lot of time to throw that ball. So the downfield coverage was pretty good. We haven't had to see Aiden take off like that yet. He's got the ability to do so. But that was a really nice job by the secondary of the Red Wings.
That was Ryan Petusik, a junior, came up and made a big stick there. He's a guy to watch as well. Now they're going to throw a quick bubble screen over to that far side of the field, and he's bubbled up quickly. He's going to be really close to the first down. Looks like they're going to call a timeout with 33 seconds left to play. Man, this far side ref has been calling these first downs really quickly without even giving it a
We've talked about that for years. High school officials don't want the chains to come out. They want to call that first down by view. Keep the game going.
Cow.
It's been like that forever.
Oh, I think he was trying to hand off there, and
That's a huge play by Walsh.
Yeah, and Walsh trips him up. So Gray, I think, was trying to hand off to Roberts. Roberts barreled out of there a little too quickly, realized he had the ball, and Walsh tripped him up. So nice play. Now this will be the timeout by the Huskies with 18 seconds left to go in this first half.
Well, this is where you watch the Williams brothers on the outside, right, and see what they're going to do. You've got a quarterback who I think can get the ball into the end zone. You're hoping for a big-time catch, or you're looking for maybe a pass interference here, or if you can get out of bounds.
Second and 11. They are at at the Benet 47-yard line. There's 18 seconds left. North trying to get one more score before the half. Benet trying desperately to keep them out, to keep this ball game somewhat close, because as you pointed out, they're getting the ball back in the beginning of the second half. Gray drops straight back. He's got a lot of time. Now he's going to run with it right up the field.
Perfect
and he's
play.
Tackled
That's going to end the
midfield,
half.
and that'll have the clock
I,
run out. North's trying to get back in time, but
I got to tell you, Mark, I've given a lot of credit to this North coaching staff. I don't think the time management there in the last minute 18 was stellar.
No.
You had a chance not to put the game away. You never put a game away in high school this early, but you had a chance to really put Benet behind a tough spot by getting at least 3 on the board with a strong kicker. Didn't do it. Break for Benet. They're getting the ball in the second half. Let's tighten up what we need to and carry on.
yeah, we've seen some nice drives by Benet, but then we've seen some penalties that have killed those drives. They've shown the ability to run the ball when they needed to. We've seen Picciolini have some nice composure, but in all fairness to him, really heavy pressure late in the first half. So we'll see if the offensive line can hold him off and we can move the ball. We'll be back in a little bit for the second half.
Sure, it's a lot easier with you guys here. It's a lot easier. I mean, last time you've got kids running back and forth. One time it was just me and him with a little computer, and people are yelling at us. I thought, I'm just going to leave at halftime. Well, I just through social media, like they had the thing up on the thing, so, and he won't read anything.
We did a Deerfield game like that. There's nothing about the broadcast. They were quite rude in the chat session, so if it's St. Ignatius don't like the chat session.
I don't think it should. I wouldn't do it again.
Turn your attention to midfield. Welcome, Varsity Stadium.
Great. Good. Well, thank you. No.
It's not exactly 15 minutes commercials. It's like a commercial, then like a 7-minute thing about baseball pitching.
Got it.
And then like a minute commercial. So
Okay.
you don't have to go for like a minute to go.
Excuse me.
But yeah, you guys are great.
Thank you very much.
How's your back?
It's okay until you told me I had a problem.
Hold on one second.
How are you? Good to see you.
Hey, Mr. Weidenbach, what's up, buddy?
What do you think?
Still sloppy.
Yeah. A lot of penalties.
I think they'll.
Which is not unusual.
My expectation is they're going to come back as a solid team in the second half. That's my expectation.
You've got 6 or 7 guys going both ways, and they look gassed.
Yeah.
They look gassed. Fournier is tired. Snell is tired. Walsh looks really tired.
Yeah.
Those are your guys.
Next man up.
Next man up.
Next man up.
How's your
all
back?
right?
Yes, doing all right. Pound's having a tough year. Pound towards ACL, so he can't play.
He told me that my son's like at a baseball game.
Family or what?
What was your injury? What was your injury?
It was a torn ACL. It's the same thing.
Horrible. It's horrible. Is he doing okay?
Yeah, good. He's doing all right. And Maddie's a senior. She's doing well. She'll be on the basketball team. The lacrosse team did really well. She did that.
Yeah.
And then Morgan's at Creighton. So,
Good for you guys.
yes. Yeah. So,
How's your game? Going okay? It's good. You know, it's so surreal. How did we get here? When did this happen? It's weird. When did you become Bernie?
Listen,
it's just
I'm slimmer.
Yeah, I know.
I'm slimmer.
Right.
I'm a lot more mellow.
yeah.
Somebody said to me, Connor called me recently, and he was like, I was talking about a kid on the team.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the hardest working marching band in the East Suburban Catholic Conference, the Benet Academy Marching Rebels.
I called my dad today. Try to call him more often.
Entertaining audiences for generations.
Just loves to hear from you. Yeah,
The 2021 Marching Rebels presents the halftime show, The Mask of Zorro. Please direct your attention to the field as drum majors Aiden Murray and Jacob Novakowski take the field with the Benet Academy Marching Red Wings.
It was faster to go to 7-Eleven. How you doing, Beach?
Give us a hug. How are you? So good to see you. Living the dream. Yeah, it's wonderful. This country is the best place I've heard. Tony, great to see you. You guys want to walk? No, but thanks for offering. You should. That was nice.
The Benet Marching Red Wings are under the direction of Mr. Richard Elefantis, and the drumline is instructed by Mr. Paul Chavez and Pastor Rustandi. The front ensemble is instructed by Victoria Knapp. The color guard is instructed and choreographed by Benet senior member Mike Evan. Go Red Wings! And now the Benet Varsity Cheer.
All right, you guys did one.
No, you can take mine. I don't want it. That's mine. You can take mine. You're really going next week?
Yeah. I thought they were awake, so I didn't think it was a problem. Could you not see the shock on my face? I said it was you.
Any ideas? Jake?
Alright, so once a commercial, it's got a minute to run. I'll hit up another one if you want, and then we can start with about 15 seconds to go before they have. I think if I remember, don't they put like 3 minutes on again at the end of the hour? I've seen that done a lot.
And then the stretch and stuff, I think so, yeah.
I think you're right, because they haven't done anything.
Yeah, I think this one, they put like 25, you think we're ready to go on, and they do 3 more minutes of crap. So it's like a commercial now.
Real quick, the White Sox were down 6-0. Now they're winning 9-6.
You know, when they were down 5-0 in the first, I was going to say that. I'm a big time Sox fan.
I am too. I mean, that's kind of, it's the third inning.
Yeah, this kind of crazy.
I was at the Cubs game the other day against the Rockies when they played 7 a doubleheader. They wanted to go on, they wanted to play 11 innings. It was raining. I was sitting in the bleachers. I wound up moving down to third base line.
That's unbelievable. 9 unanswered runs. It's the third inning. Well, Keuchel just, he's throwing batting practice. He really is. That Cubs lineup is a 888 maybe.
Yeah, they kind of like, he talked to me, I'm a Russo fan, and he's like, oh, Russo.
Oh, yeah?
He's been unbelievable.
That's what I was surprised is they spotted the Cubs 6-0. That's the part I was shocked at.
I wonder what the bet was when they were down 6-0.
All right, let's go.
Well, plus 1,400 for the White Sox to win when they were down 6-0. Plus like around there, plus 1,500, plus something, plus a lot.
Oh, for
What do
sure.
you think, right?
Oh, for sure.
The odds.
Any major leagues, right? Even with,
Yeah.
with the Cubs.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, somebody's killing it right now.
I'm not gonna lie, they came out way more fired up than they did earlier today, so we'll see. We'll see what happens after half.
Well, you got to come right out and you got to score. You got to, or at least have a nice, long, sustained drive.
It seemed like all receivers were dropping
right.
passes.
That's right. Thank you, Garth Carter. It was bad. I walked out.
No, it's very nice. I just think.
And I said to him before the game, I actually pulled him aside and said, I know it feels like a long time, and it is. But you'll be back, I promise. You know, and we talked about it earlier. It's a definite. I feel bad for all of you. There's Thank you.
That's the thing he was talking about. You know, he had mentioned something about that, and I was like,
I watched too. I wanted to video as he was talking.
that sounds like.
I know you don't think he's funny. I won't.
Yes. Welcome back, and we are just about to start this second half. Benet down 21-6 to the Naperville North Huskies, and the big story, I think, was Aiden Gray.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, there's a number of stories that you could have used with these guys. Aiden Gray was fantastic. The Williams brothers were fantastic.
Ethan Roberts.
Ethan Roberts' run was fantastic. But you know what I'm going to talk about, Mark? I'm going to talk about the way that offensive line is protecting Aiden Gray right now. I think they've done an outstanding job. So we're going to talk about all the glory positions, but I'm going to talk about that offensive line doing a great job, giving him the time to do what he wants.
One guy that has stood out to me was number 77, Connor Hare. I think he's their center. He's a big boy, Rick. He's 6'4", 280.
Well, listen, Bennett's going to get the ball here. The Bennett student section trying to get him fired up right now. Bennett's got to come out and really go after it.
Yeah. And once again, another touchback. Big kick. The North team is fired up. You missed it right before the half started when they were warming up. They turned to the crowd, and they were just getting them really fired up into the in the stand section.
I'm sure Coach knew at halftime, said, okay, everybody get that out of their system. Everybody get those first half jitters. Let's go back to playing the kind of ball that we know how to play. Let's stick it down their throats. Let's get Walsh more involved with the offense. And I think we're going to see a different Bennett in this second half. Put an asterisk by that because it's always subject to change.
Snell in the slot here to the near side. Picciolini, high snap, fakes it,
He's open.
and he's got a receiver, Walsh, over the middle. Completed, and he's dragged down to the 44. Big gain, and that's a great way to start that second half for the Red Wings.
Just what we talked about, right? You've got to set your mark early, get Walsh more involved in that offense.
First down, Red Wings. Picciolini's got Forney to his right. He's standing back. Now Snell in motion, and he's going to give it to Snell on that sweep. And he's got some running room to the right side. He's still on his feet, and he's dragged down at about the 32-yard line. Great run, great block.
Boy, he was explosive there.
Yeah.
He was explosive. They look like they came out with a different energy so far in these first two plays. It's early, but you can sense a different energy right away. You know, that first half, they lost the field possession game.
Yeah.
The whole game. They were never in a good position to move down the field. Right now, they're doing all the right things.
Picciolini, inside handoff to Forney. He's got a lot of running room. He breaks 1-2 tackles, and he's thrown down
Well,
at about the 14-yard line, it looks like.
Mark, back to what I was saying at halftime, we're going to give the running backs, the receivers, the quarterback the credit. That offensive line is putting holes like we didn't see in the first half.
No. Oh, my gosh. You're right. On the sweep, there was a nice blocking, and then on that inside run.
I'm not 100% sure, but that was Paul Konerko could have run through that hole.
Checking in for the Red Wings, Ryan Patusek, number 43. Keep an eye on him. Picciolini hands off again to Forney. He's got some running room. He breaks 1-2 tackles. Once again, Rick, like you said earlier, he never goes down on the first hit.
He's a kid, keeps the legs pumping, keeps his body moving, so he's not even taking real strong hits. Very elusive and explosive out of the box. I think he has absolutely been the offense so far in this game for the Red Wings.
Another first down for Benet, and that's going to give him first and goal from the 4-yard line. Picciolini inside to Forney. Breaks one tackle, but then he's brought down. I think he may have got back to the original line of scrimmage, maybe picked up a yard, if that, Rick. I think they're going to mark him down at the original line of scrimmage.
A little slow getting to the line on this. It looks like there's just a little bit of confusion about what they're talking about here, but I get it. This is a position you want to score. You can't settle for 3.
Picciolini fakes it to Forney, scrambles to the right, and he's just held up right at the 1-yard line, it looks like.
It looks like that was Williams on the tackle. That was a touchdown-saving tackle. Beautiful play, because I thought he was going to get to that corner.
3rd and goal from the 1-yard line. All right, I'm going to give you the chance right now. What's the call here, Rick?
There's 2 calls. If you don't get it on 3rd down, you do the same thing on 4th down. It's right up the gut. You don't get fancy. You run right behind those horses and you get in the end zone.
2-6 in that slot. They're going to give it to Forney. He fakes it to Forney. I'm sorry, I was even faked out. Picciolini in with the touchdown. Great call. I was faked out by it. And boom, just like that, the Red Wings are back in it.
Boy. Whatever this coaching staff said to them at half worked.
Looked like a
that
different
was
team.
a different team that played in the first half.
Agreed.
That was a team who played with excitement, a sense of urgency, and got the job done. Now you've got to do the same thing on the other side of the ball.
Yeah, the Huskies were back on their heels, it seemed like, that whole drive. Lorenzo in to kick for the Red Wings. Ball is placed down, the kick is up, and he nailed that one.
That was great. And I like kicking the 1 there. You don't get the 2 there, then you're still down more than you want to be, right? Now you're down. It's a whole different ballgame the way you attack it. I love it. I love that I got a guy named Primetime who's still listening to the game, and we're in the 3rd quarter. He didn't give up on the Red Wings.
21-13, 9:28 left to go in this 3rd quarter. And I like their chances a lot better now. It was a little bit more gloom and doom there entering the end of the first half, I should say, 2nd quarter. We're back in this game, but now we got to get an answer and get some pass rush on Aiden Gray.
I just want to say, Mark, listen, to all the fans at home, thank you for listening. But if you get a chance to come out here, it's been a long time since we haven't been able to go to a football game live. So what a beautiful night. What a beautiful stadium this is. I'd love to see the Garth Carters of the world out here. I'd love to see the Rob Sanfords of the world out here. We need people in the seats, but this is going to be a fun season for everybody.
Love Coach Garth Carter.
One of the best.
Lorenzo set to kick for the Red Wings.
Well, I know who I'm keeping the ball away from here on this kickoff, Mark.
Williams is going to take it at about the 9-yard line, spins. Now he's going to run straight up the gut, and he's got some running room. Breaks 1 tackle, and he's dragged down at the 31. God, the kid's explosive.
Well, we've been very fortunate to see a lot of great athletes come through here. That he caught that ball, I thought was the wrong move. Next thing you know, he's at the 30-yard line at a blink of an eye. He's got a different gear that if he gets through that top, he's gone.
He's fearless because you're right. It was a low line drive kick once again, and it's not easy. It's like a knuckler almost. Catches it and then spins, and he's going full speed right from the get-go.
That's exactly right.
Gray with the inside handoff to Robert. and he was stuffed up right there at the line of scrimmage.
Well, there's another thing that was a problem in the first half, Mark. I mean,
Yeah.
what most of the yards were coming from up the middle, right? They were getting that penetration. So not only did your offense give more time to protect and build some of those holes, now your defense is closing the line too.
Roberts makes something out of nothing with a 2-yard gain. That's going to bring up a 2nd and 8. Aiden's got a slot out to his left, and now we've got
He lined up
another
off sides.
encroachment on defense. I think he's going to call it on
Well, they're
Pierce
calling it on Walsh because you can see how upset he is here. Again, if you're lined up as your defensive end, you're 2 players away from where that ball is, right? Don't put yourself in that situation to give him an easy 5 yards.
No, and generally, and I'm not saying this all the time, but generally the refs will warn the coaching staff, hey, your guy's lining up. I want to warn 1-9's in the
That's the
zone
second
there.
one we've seen here.
So you got to be careful with that. Quick swing out to that left side, and they've got a first down just like that. I couldn't see who caught that, Rick, but it was a quick reception, nicely designed play. That was
that is a nice design play. That's a way to move the chains. It's a quick hitter. And Gray's got that arm strength to get that ball out quickly because that's a play we've both seen go poorly if you don't have a guy who can really zip it out there.
Yeah, that was number 10, Ryan Gilligan. Made a nice catch and turned it upfield quickly. He's in the slot here on the near side. Williams is split out on the far side of the field. He's going to unload it deep over the middle of the field.
Interception.
Oh, intercepted. That was Keogh.
It was absolutely stolen.
And now we've got a flag. I'm waiting to see what the flag was. But Keogh, it looked like North tried to strip the ball out of his hands when he was down on the ground. I wonder if this is going to be an unsportsmanlike conduct.
It's not going to be pass interference, Mark, because the receiver had the ball and the ball was ripped out. It could be something that happened after the play.
Right. I think that's what happened.
I think you're right.
There was a scuffle there on the ground afterwards, but Keogh went up and really fought the ball. He wanted the ball more. Joe Keogh, nice play. Really, really.
Well, that was a spectacular play.
Yeah.
And it's a short season so far, but that's the play of the season that we've seen. That was outstanding.
I'm waiting for the call there.
Well,
unsportsmanlike conduct.
I don't
on
know.
The Red Wings,
Was it on the sideline?
Wow.
Well,
you know, that's killer because it knocks them back. And now they're going to have...
Not as killer as North having the ball on the Red Wing 20, right? So...
Oh, my God. It's a sideline penalty.
That's what I figured. That's what I told you
get
once.
A warning for that before they call that.
And maybe there was one earlier that we missed, but...
Fake to Snell. Hand off to Fournier over the left side. God, look at him keep his feet going.
This kid's...
He was stopped about 4 yards back, and he kept the play going.
This has been in the tradition of Benet runners too, right? They run hard. They don't give up. They don't go down in that first hit. And Mark, I didn't see what happened on the sideline. We've got the best view in the house, but there must have been multiple people on the field. But you're right. It's a warning call most of the time.
It's going to bring up a 2nd and short. Picciolini does a pitch out here to Fournier on the near side, who cuts back, and he's brought down. He's going to be, it looks like...
My In the City reporter just sent a note that there was multiple players off the bench on the field.
Okay.
And that's what the penalty was.
Okay.
That's why we pay Primetime the big bucks. Thanks for the update. We don't have that in the booth, but that makes a lot of sense.
First down, Red Wings. They're at their own 17-yard line. Picciolini takes the snap, hands it off to Fournier over the right side. Not much there. May have picked up a yard. He was running right over that right side of Infante and Kosiba.
Well, you got 6.5 minutes left in the third. You know, time is not a factor in this one at all. Make sure when you get to the line of scrimmage, everybody's on the same page. Stop the silly penalties. Give your guys the breaks that they need. You're right in this game.
Picciolini drops straight back. It looked like that was a design draw, and he drags 2-3 guys down. That was a great run for the first down. I got to tell you, very impressive run by the
100% a quarterback draw on that. He put his head down and ran hard. You saw some defensive backs that didn't want to get in the way of that kid. Beautiful run, first down Red Wings, and they're on the move again.
Walsh split way out there to the far side. Snell here is in the slot. Now we've got Snell in motion, and he gives it to Snell on that jet sweep. And you know what? He still picked up 3 or 4 yards. Not as explosive as that first time they called it in the first.
Well, he's
half,
had a couple.
Still a nice run.
He's had a couple of nice plays. You know, he had the one drop where he turned, and then he hit the overthrow on the first drive of the game for the Red Wings. But he's had a couple of really nice plays. He's an explosive player for the Red Wings.
Snell comes out for a breather. Jack Kane here on the near side of the field. In the slot is Modi. Keep an eye on him. Forney with the handoff. He's going to go right up the middle, and he barrels through. It looked like he was stopped short of the first down, and he's got a first down now.
That's
Rick.
a first down plus some, but he got popped there on the back. We hope he's all right. He is a workhorse.
Move those chains, Rick Aaron. Move those chains. 1st and 10. Benet at their own 44-yard line. Picciolini, once again inside handoff to Forney. And you know what? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Keep handing off to Forney because he's getting 4 yards every time.
Well, they're wearing out that defense a little bit. The big thing has been the energy they've come out with and the offensive line play. It was non-existent here, Mark, in the first half. And this third quarter, well, at least the first 7 or 8 minutes of it has been dominated by the Red Wings.
4:37 left to go in this third quarter. High snap, Picciolini hands off, and it looked like they almost had a miscommunication. That play did not develop well.
That wasn't a quick hitter. It was like the second guy threw.
Yeah. There was a big surge from the middle of the defensive line there. Looks like number 85, Jackson Bauer, led the surge for the Huskies.
Well,
so that's going to bring up a 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7.
And by no means right now you've got field position in play here. Are you in 4-down territory? Run a play here. If you're short, you can punch them and really pin these guys back.
Ryan Patusik in that H-back providing some...
Nope.
Oh, and you know what? It was the defensive end there on the far side of the field. I can't see his number, but he really beat his man to Picciolini and brought him down.
And you know what happened? He stayed home. So he actually didn't rush. As the quarterback rolled out to the right, he kind of stood his ground and
ran into him almost, yeah.
I mean, that's a big stop by the Huskies.
And it is.
And a needed stop.
And it's a momentum killer because the Red Wings really were moving the ball well. 3:20 and the clock's rolling right now. Picciolini double duty as the quarterback and the punter. He's back at the 30. Nice snap. Kick is away. Low line drive kick. Fielded at the 21. Misses one guy. Now he's running down that far side, pushed out of bounds. But they're going to start with some nice field position at their own 33-yard line, Rick. Frankie Morrow in for the Red Wings. This guy's a big kid. He's a junior. He's a defensive tackle. He's 6'2", 330, Rick. You'll see him at nose guard. He's going to cause some havoc there in the middle. Snell over here at safety. Brendan Harbar here at the corner at the near side of the field. Jackson Bayer is the linebacker here on the near side of the field. Handoff inside.
You know, Mark, I'd go back to that formula of getting this ball to that running back and opening up the passing game. He was so electric for North in that first half, and hasn't seen much in the third quarter, right? But boy, it allows Gray to do a lot of stuff when he's running the ball hard.
It's going to bring up a 2nd and 6, 2nd and 7.
Oh,
that was number 17, Danny Elo. He was the guy I was telling you about before. He's not as that tough runner like Robert, but he's got some speed, and you saw that here when he would try to take it to the outside. The play took a long time to develop. Benet kind of strung it out. They stopped him short of the first down. It's going to be 3rd and 2. Just under 2 minutes left to go in this third quarter. If you're joining us late, North leading 21-13.
I don't think the ball's going in the air on this play. I think you're either going to see Gray keep the ball or hand it off to his tailback right up the middle.
As you predicted, it's going to go Robert right up the gut. He's got a first down.
And they had success with that in the first half. I think you just keep doing that. You need the chains moving. You need the clock to continue to go. Don't overthink it. Too many coaches overthink those kind of plays, and that's all that is right up the gut.
Walsh has been having a great game, but he looks gassed right now. He's getting up slow on every play, I noticed. It's got to be hot out there, and he's playing both sides of the ball. I give this kid credit. Robert, stutter steps, then cuts left, and it looks like he dropped the ball.
I think North's got the ball back, though. Lucky break for the Huskies, because that could have been disastrous at the 50-yard line. Benet grabbing the ball.
Infante back in for the Red Wings. I think the coaching staff saw Walsh needed a breather.
Well, it's hot enough to play one way here. When you're stepping in both ways and playing, and especially when teams are game planning for you specifically on both sides of the ball, you got to give some guys some breathers.
Right up the gut. In on the tackle, 21, Josh Novak. He was giving Walsh a breather. Novak's a talented athlete. He's a baseball player, too. I know that.
You know, I'm impressed that North had trouble with this on their first drive in the third quarter, running up the middle, but it worked from the first half. They went right back to it.
Yeah.
And it's working again. They're winning the line of scrimmage and moving the ball down the field at the pace that does not benefit the Red Wings.
You've got Jack Wachtel, like I was talking about. You've got 77 Connor Hare, a big guy, 6'4", 280. I think he was a recent transfer to North.
Great protection. Look at this.
Throws it. Oh, that was a gutsy move by Snell.
Snell played that one a little bit up front. He
Yeah.
takes a step back. He might have a better play on that ball.
Yeah.
We got lucky. It wasn't there. It was a long ball by Aiden Gray. But that's the end of the third quarter. So we're going to go into the fourth with a 21-13 Husky lead.
You know, you looked at the second quarter, and that was clearly won by the Huskies. You got to give the third quarter to the Red Wings, though.
I think the third quarter, other than the last 2 or 3 minutes, was dominated by Benet, right? I mean, the interception was a huge play. Didn't capitalize, got up to the 50. But I think they're a little bit gassed right now. I think this quarter change couldn't have happened at a better time to give guys a couple of minutes to get back out there. But expect this fourth quarter, the Huskies to continue doing what they're doing, running up the middle, getting Gray out open, looking for those open receivers. But as long as they keep winning the line of scrimmage, they're probably going to be in good shape.
We talked about it early on. Bennett's got some talented kids. There's not a lot of depth there. You look at North sidelines, they've got a lot more kids on their varsity team, and they don't have nearly as many kids going both ways. So that's got to benefit North going into this fourth quarter.
Yeah, I think so. I think fatigue is a factor, but you know the game also started off in North's favor. So I think we came out really good in the third quarter. I'm sure Coach New was saying what just worked for us in the first 9 minutes. Let's continue to do. Let's stop them here, get the ball back, and we'll figure it out from there. Contrary to popular belief, in between quarters is not like the show Brockmire here in the Benet booth, for those of you who have seen it. There's a few of you out there who understand what I'm talking about, but it's a family show. This broadcast, not the show, Mark.
I've also noted that not just the Red Wings mood has improved. I noticed this crew is definitely in a better mood after it was noted that the White Sox have made a huge comeback and are up 9-6 at this point.
Well, let's make sure. I don't want to give wrong information to our fans. It is 9-6, and which should be about a 6-hour baseball game. All right, start of the fourth quarter.
Huskies in Benet territory. Second down. Robert over the left side picks up 3 or 4 yards. That'll bring up a third and manageable, 6 or 7.
Mark, I wouldn't be surprised if the Huskies played 4-down territory here. When they went for it on that 4th and 3 in the second quarter and got the big gain, I think what Coach Drendel and his staff are showing right now, that they're in it to win it, right? They're not going to take their offense, which they feel very confident about, off the field if they think it gives them the best shot. We've got a Red Wing down right now, so we're just going to wait a couple minutes to get back to game action. Some tough news this week for the Rolling Stones, Mark. You know I'm a fan.
They lost their drummer.
Charlie Watts, the great Charlie Watts, 80 years young. Charlie, we hope you're watching this from VIP seats upstairs, and we're thinking about you.
That was Joe Infante, the Red Wing that was down on the turf, but it looks like he's up and he's walking off under his own power. He's trying to get the crowd fired up. You gotta love that.
I love it. Look at him.
You gotta love that.
Well, this is the difference when you have fans in the stands. This is a huge play.
High snap, goes off to Roberts, and he's got the first down. He sliced through that left side.
That was a fast play.
Yeah,
that was
right.
really, really well developed. And see that Aiden Gray held onto the ball at the last second and went through the whole. It was a really nice play. First down for the Huskies.
I think when there's that read by the quarterback, he basically holds the linebackers, and then Robert got it and just took off. He hit that hole hard, and it wasn't even a question. He had the first down and then some. First and 10 from the 30 of the Red Wings. Gray with Roberts to his right. Fakes the handoff. Looks right, now looks left. He's going to keep it. He goes over that left side. And he's at the 20. He's at the 10. Cuts back. Nice spin move. And he's inbounds. And then we've got a flag down. I saw a holding here on the near side of the field. I don't know what this flag is down at the 10-yard line.
I don't either. What a great run by Gray.
Great decision. Gray, the receivers were open. Gray decided to keep it, and he didn't hesitate. He put his head down.
Hold on.
It was an illegal block by the Huskies downfield.
Boy, what a huge break, because, Mark, I didn't see that block, and maybe I missed it near the play where he was. It looked like it was almost an afterthought towards the center of the field because it was a late flag that came in.
Yeah. It's frustrating. You brought it up earlier when there was a flag on Benet and you get a penalty that's not even near the play and it was not necessary. This is similar. He had.
Boy, that is an enormous break for the Red Wings.
Looks like some confusion about where the ball should be marked. And now the refs are conferring.
And this is what a good crew does, right? They talk about it, make sure they got the play right.
Yeah.
Make sure they got the spot right. Bring everybody in. Maybe they're talking about candlesticks. I'm not sure. But it looks really good from where we are. And hopefully they're making the right decision. While we're waiting here, I'd like to thank Cindy McAndrew for bringing those waters. You know, this is what happens when you think outside the box. The line down to the concessions, they're working their tails off down there, Mark. But on a hot day, they're awfully busy. Cindy got on her moped, shot down to the 7-Eleven, came back with some pure waters for us. Probably saved the second half of this announcer.
The refs are talking to both coaches, explaining how they're placing the ball, and still trying to figure out what they're doing here. It's a first down, but it looks like it's a 1st and 8. So it must have been from the spot of the foul moving the ball back.
You don't see a lot of 1st and 8s.
No. I still don't understand that. Gray takes a snap. Hands off to Robert over the left side. Bottled up, but he's going to have a nice 3 or 4 yard gain again. He always falls forward, and very seldom do you see him take a loss. You know what I mean? He's always falling forward.
No,
and getting that
he's
2 or
an
3
impressive.
yards.
He's an impressive back.
Second down and 4. 10:06 left to go in this ball game. Huskies leading 21-13. Driving right now inside Benet territory. Inside handoff, goes right up the gut. It looked like he was bottled up. Then he darts forward and he's going to get a first down. And, you know, they really need a stop here, Rick. They want to stay in this game right now.
You've got 9 minutes left, which, you know, isn't turning in a high school game.
Yeah.
But, boy, a one-score game looks a heck of a lot better, doesn't it?
Kept it fake to Gray. Now he's going to run over that left side. Brought down by number 21, Josh Novak on the tackle.
There's the sign of a good quarterback, though. He sees that other linebacker, secondary come up, puts that other arm over the ball, right, to secure the ball. You're better off not getting that extra yard and holding on to the ball. And that's what he did right there.
Another inside handoff to Roberts. He's going to go right over that right guard, and he's going to move forward another 3 or 4 yards. He's going to be close to that first down again.
What we're seeing now is a little bit more reminiscent of what we saw in the first half. They're bullying him at the offensive line. They're getting into the linebackers. They're getting into the secondary, and they're moving the ball down the field. I mean, this is downhill running, and a really, really nice drive. Nothing fancy, just knocking us upside down.
They've got 1st and goal from the 6. Just over 8 minutes left to go in this ball game. Slot on the near side. He keeps it over the left side now, and he's dragged down by Snell in on the tackle. Novak helped him out.
Quite honestly, that's what you want to see is that one-on-one where you get a chance to jar that ball loose, right? I mean, he puts that other arm on there, but if you can get a helmet on the ball, you got a chance.
Kosiba coming out. Morrow back in. Roberts over the right side.
Boy,
that closed really quickly. It looked like he had all sorts of room.
I thought he was going to walk in.
Yeah.
And that closed really, really fast.
That was Walsh.
Well, 3rd and about 1.5 yards. I'm going to say this about 5 more times as we move forward, but this is the biggest play of the game.
You really have a thing for drama, don't you? Tight formation here by the Huskies. They're going to give it to Robert over the left side, and he's through.
Huge. Touchdown Huskies.
Huskies.
Nothing tricky about that drive.
No. And there's a late flag. I think it's getting real chippy out there between these two teams.
I'm sure it is. It's hot. It's frustrating.
Refs conferring on this one again.
Well, it's obviously after the touchdown.
Yeah. It's gonna.
Right.
The score is
so
gonna
it's
count.
either unsportsmanlike.
Personal foul on the offense.
Touchdown's good. So
it'll be. I think they usually do it on the kickoff, don't they? They mark it off in the kickoff.
Yes.
Here's the extra point. Snap, ball's down, kick is up, and it is good. David Alano, we talked about him earlier, really strong kicker. That's another nice weapon for this Naperville North team.
Well, Benet doesn't have a lot of options now other than you've got to score quickly, and you've got to have that stop. You can't allow them to run 4, 5, 6 yards up the middle. That drive, that's all that was. Whether it was Aiden Gray or the tailback running up the gut. So a quick score, and we'll see where we go from there.
They didn't throw a pass that whole drive, did they? I think they ran it. If they did, there may have been one pass, but they ran the ball right down Bennett's throats. 7:03 left to go in this ball game. If Benet wants to stay in this game, they're going to have a nice drive and a score, preferably a quick score.
Yep.
But they got to give their defense a bit of a break right now. That's going to be
well. You need a
it.
quick score at this point. You got to suck it up and not worry about your defense.
Yeah.
You've got to score, and you got to score quick. I mean, 7 minutes is a long time with 3 timeouts. We've seen that teams score quickly. There's game breakers on both sides of the ball. But a 6-minute drive isn't going to be that effective.
Manuel and Keogh back for the Red Wings. This time they're going to be kicking from the 25, so I think they're going to have a chance to return this one. Manuel's going to field it at the 12. He's at the 20. He's at the 30. He cuts back. He's going to be dragged down right at about the 34-yard line. Nice field position to start off this drive, though.
So now you're going to have to start taking some shots down the field. You know, that's one of these things, Mark, with Benet teams we've seen in the past. We've opened up the running game a little bit with some slants, some deeper passes. We haven't seen a lot of that today.
No.
Everything we've gotten, we have really earned on the ground. Let's go, Red Wings. This is it. This is a big drive.
Kane split out there to the far side of the field. This is Snell in motion. He's going to fake it to Snell. Now he's got a receiver open. Oh.
Boy, sorry to scream in the microphone for those who are listening. That was a beautifully called play. Kyle was a little short.
Yeah.
But boy, it had the defensive fool. He catches that ball in stride.
He's gone.
It's a touchdown.
Kyle Modi was running right along the seam there on a skinny post. He was open. It was just a little bit underthrown.
Oh, boy, that's a beautiful play call. I really, really liked that. I liked it so much. If we run it again, I'll be just fine.
They swing it over. Here's to Snell on a bubble screen. He's got some running room, and he gets pushed out of bounds with a first down. He's right at the 45-yard line of Benet. That's going to move the chains and give Benet a first down.
You know, getting out of bounds, Mark, obviously it stops the clock, gets the clock manufacturer, but it also allows to make sure you're calling the right play. Everybody's on the same page.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you see these high school games and you're hurry, you see guys out of position or not all doing the right thing.
Lorenzo and Snell in the slot on that far side of the field. Picciolini throws into coverage there. That was tough. He had a lot of pressure. In fact, he got hit as he threw the ball.
You know, tough kid standing in the pocket there. He overthrew it. We're lucky it didn't go the other way, but he definitely paid for standing in the pocket.
Second and 10. Here's the slot in motion. That's Snell. He's going to drop straight back. Now he's going to throw it down this sideline to Snell. And
so he stepped out of bounds. You see how the official throw his hat, and that's where the receiver stepped out of bounds.
Snell looks like he's cramping up here at the 30.
That's exactly what it is, Mark.
He's grabbing his calf.
That's all cramp.
He's having some pain right there. You know, as I told you, it's getting a little chippy. Zeke Williams had a few comments for Snell when he was laying on the ground. I think, once again, as you pointed out, you got to be very careful with that. Really, because you get a flag there after you make the stop, and it's really a stupid penalty. You know?
It's dumb, and there's one way to stop that, and that's have the officials throw a flag.
Right.
And say, guys, every time you do it now, it's an automatic 15.
Right.
Right? Gets the coaches on point, gets the players on point. It's a little bit of a wake-up call for both teams that we're here to play football. At the end of the day, that's what this is.
Third and 10.
You never hear me talk any crap, Mark, ever.
6:32 left to go in this ball game.
On the up and up.
Huskies up 28-13. Picciolini's getting rushed hard from that left side. He avoids it. Running right, he's going to keep it. And he's hit out of bounds.
You got to throw a flag. You got to throw a flag on this one.
It was so obvious, and it was right in front of the ref, and there are a bunch of coaches for Benet in front. That was a really...
It was a great blitz. Quarterback got out of the way, was going out of bounds on a fair push out of bounds, but then the second guy, that's not necessary. That's where a guy blows a knee. And it was right on the sideline, right in front of the official. Quite honestly, that's a lazy non-call.
4th and 6. Bennett's got the ball at their own 49-yard line.
This is the game
really
right here,
make
Mark.
or break play right here. They're going to have to get this first down. Picciolini goes straight back, spins the ball in his hands. He's got a heavy rush. Now he scrambles left, throws it back over to the middle of the field. He was looking for Manuel, who was open in the middle of a bunch of linebackers, but...
Well, we had a guy over the middle of the field. Number 8 was open. That non-flag call is a really, really big call.
Yeah.
Honestly, it ends the game.
But the ball is turned over on downs now. Huskies are going to take over at the Benet 49. 6:19 left to go. They're really in the driver's seat at this point. They're up 28-13. Their last drive was all runs, and I think you're going to see a heavy dose of that. Hand off to Roberts over the left side. Man, he is quick, and he broke right through that first line of defense.
I'm impressed with both of these running backs on both sides tonight that we've seen.
Yeah.
They run hard, they're explosive, but this kid from North has had some extraordinary out-of-the-chute runs. By the time he's touched, he's in the secondary.
Yeah.
And Mark, 90% of them, where are they going? Right up the middle.
Right. It's not like they're beating us to the outside with speed or something like that.
They're
First
going
and
right
10
up the
for
middle.
the Huskies. They're at the 39-yard line. 5:51 left to go in this ball game. Another inside handoff to Roberts. Breaks through past the linebackers, and he's got another if he doesn't have a first down, it's really close. Let's see the mark here. He's just short. He's about second down and 2.
Well, the first half went to the Huskies. They came out on fire. They scored early. Benet missed the extra point coming back, but I thought they were the better team. Third quarter, I thought Benet came out, other than those last 2 or 3 minutes, and looked great. But the fourth quarter has really been dominated again in the trenches by the tailback, by the Huskies.
Aiden Gray over that left side. He's got a first down right now. Walsh in on the tackle. Well, this will cheer you up a little bit, Rick. Bottom of the 5th, White Sox 13, Cubbies 6.
That's unbelievable. That's 13 unanswered.
1st and 10 for the Huskies. 4:46 left to go. They're up 28-13. This time, they're going to give it to number 17, Danny Elo. Elo really does give you a different look. He's not as strong, but he's quick, really quick with the ball.
Well, I think at this point, I'm a big believer in you get your second and third guys in there right now. You get them game experience, right? You keep your other kids healthy, and it's been hot. It's been a long game. Let's get these guys some carries on both sides of the ball. I think that's what you need to do.
2nd and 9. He faked it to Elo, but he held on to it. Walsh came up and just lit up Aiden Gray.
Okay, so that's a perfect example of what I'm talking about here, Mark. You've got a quarterback here who's a very talented kid. He's going to have a great season for North. Don't put him in chances at this point, I think, to have something silly happen. And you talk about the game being chippy. Nobody wants to ever do something on purpose, but when it's chippy, weird stuff happens. I think at this point,
Benet calls timeout to stop the clock. Just over 4 minutes left to go. 4:01 left to go in the ball game. North is on the 29-yard line of Benet, threatening to score again.
Well, win, lose, or draw for the Red Wings, this has been a thrilling day for me. I know for all the fans that are out there, the student body, and certainly the coaches and players who have waited a long time to have a full stands atmosphere again. Both teams have performed well. The sophomore game was exciting. I'm just happy football's back, and I think I speak for everybody, no matter who you're rooting for. They're happy football's back.
Oh, it's great. The energy and excitement at Benedictine here tonight has been just phenomenal. Gray takes the snap, fakes it. Now he's going to roll right. He's going to throw it over the middle. He's got a receiver open. That's Williams. That's very similar to what they scored that first touchdown. I think that's the same play.
Let me tell you something. That was some great sportsmanship I saw that I don't know if you guys will see at home. But Aiden Gray went over, and before he even congratulated, I believe it was Luke Williams who scored the touchdown, number 5.
And he
picked up Pierce Walsh
I saw
before he went to the end zone.
Yeah.
So, listen, guys, this is a game. This is a game that North played very, very well. But you see a lot of respect on both sides and a lot of fun.
Snap is down, kick is up, and it's good. 35-13, Huskies over the Red Wings. 3 minutes, 56 left to go in this ball game, and it's been all Huskies. They've looked really good here. If there was any doubt that team that went 2-1 and really finished the strong,
with the 36.6 a game.
Yeah,
I think they look.
They've got a good offense.
I think they listen. There's two sides here. North looks good. They look explosive. Benet has shown they've got some things they need to work on, but they looked great in that third quarter, right? So you've got some things to play off of. You've got to tighten up the lines. You got to get more confidence at the quarterback position. You're going to have to take some more good shots down the field. The schedule doesn't get easier.
Well, we didn't talk about that, but boy, does Benet have a tough schedule this year.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, there's a lot of talent on this Benet sideline. You've got a good coaching staff, a team that's going to sit there and look at this and say, we've got some work to do. Let's go back to it. You get Moline next week, and your goal is to even up the series. I'm sorry, the schedule.
Schedule, yeah. Manuel and Keogh back standing at the 5. And once again, just a really deep kick, and that's going to go in for a touchback. Really strong kicker here.
We've got a football fan, I don't know if he's still listening, in Las Vegas right now listening, RG, who is a huge football fan, been around a lot of programs, loves the game, knows the game, and from what I heard from a good friend of mine, he's been listening to this game where he is. So thanks for tuning in, and hopefully see you again on the broadcast.
Looks like we got a quarterback change. It looks like it's Jake Heppel. He fakes to the right. Now he's going to roll to his left, and he's going to keep it. He's got some running room, and he slides out of bounds into the north sidelines there. Heppel, a junior, has been competing with Picciolini at that quarterback position. Talented thrower. Nice pickup. That's going to bring up a 2nd and 1. Snell in that slot. He's got trips receivers to this near side. Heppel's going to drop straight back. He's going to have some pressure, so he's going to step up. He's going to run again to that left side. He's got some running room. He's got a first down, and he slides out of bounds.
I think his coach told him to stay in.
Yeah.
I think they're trying to stay in.
3:12 left to go in this ball game. Trips receivers out to this near sideline. Heppel drops straight back. Looks for that bubble screen here. Kyle Modi with the reception on that one. He had a couple blockers in front of him and then runs right into the trio of linebackers there and gets lit up pretty good, but not after he picks up 3 yards. That's going to bring up a 2nd and 7. 2 minutes, 34 seconds left to go, and the clock's ticking. Same formation as last time. Heppel's going to drop straight back. He's got some time now. He's going to unload it down this near sideline. Oh!
Boy, what a beautiful ball thrown. Just
Perfect.
missed.
Yeah, he was looking for Walsh. Walsh laid out, and it just was off his fingertips. Really nice ball. That was inches. That was inches of working out.
He's mad at himself here on the sideline. You can see that. Thinks he should have had it. There's the old adage, if it hits your fingers, you've got to make that catch. That would have been a hell of a catch.
Yeah. And you know what? The coverage was there. There was defenders right there.
There was one of the Williams was there.
Kyle Modi on the jet sweep. Picked up maybe a yard, so that's going to bring up 4th and 6. They're at their own 42-yard line. Manuel coming out, Snell coming back in the game. Heiberger is down here on the near sideline. Modi is here in the slot. Snell and Kane is on that far sideline. Heppel trying to make some magic here. Drops straight back. There's a heavy rush. He's scrambling to his right. Now throws back to the middle of the field. And what a catch.
Boy, that was beautiful catch.
Kyle Modi, really great concentration, and he got hit pretty good when he caught
he's
it.
been around the ball quite a bit.
Yeah.
And he knew he was going to get hit on that one. I mean, that's one when you cross over the middle and you know there's guys breathing, you're going to get hit. But he held onto the ball, bounced right up. That was a heck of a play by the Red Wings. Those are the things you got to build on for the next game as the season goes on.
Modi comes out. Manuel comes in. Heppel throws over to the left side, hits Fournier in the flat. Fournier breaks one tackle as per usual, and he's dragging 3 or 4 guys with him. That's going to be a pickup of about 6 or 7 yards. You know what? Minute left to go in this game, and Fournier's still battling. You got to love that about the kid. 2nd and 4. They're at the 40-yard line of the Huskies. I love the fact that Bennett's still fighting this one out. Modi here with Snell, Heiberger. Heppel hits Snell. He's at the 30. We got a flag down already.
You know what? Put that laundry in your pocket. Let this game finish.
Now, why is he calling this?
This is the sideline who didn't call the late
I don't
hit.
think so, yeah, because he's the ref over here on the sideline called it.
He's calling on number 9. He was offsides, but it's definitely against Benet.
Roughing the passer. Oh, but here's interference.
So you had
offsetting penalties.
They had offsetting penalties.
Yeah.
That first one you could tell was on Benet because number 9 was, or 8. I'm sorry.
Yeah, there was something.
He was very upset early,
and
so that roughing the passer was after the fact that somebody else called.
And the
it.
ref here on the sideline wouldn't be calling the roughing the passer. It would be
no, he shouldn't.
Yeah. All right, 35 seconds left to go in this ball game. Benet has the ball at the Huskies 40. Heppel's going to drop straight back. He's going to swing it over here to Walsh. He catches it at the 37 and is wrapped up pretty quickly.
Timeout.
They're giving him a first down, so they're going to move the chains.
How much time do we have left?
28.
And they're rolling the clock, so let's...
Yeah, I don't think you're going to see timeouts here. Plus, you don't want to see a kid,
Yeah. Heppel drops straight back. Throws a nice ball down here to Walsh again. Good coverage by Williams. They were looking for Walsh again.
Yeah, and another maybe 6 inches. That ball's a touchdown. But
yeah.
Luke Williams is a heck of a cover corner.
Heppel's looked good here in the fourth quarter. He's thrown some nice balls.
Yeah, I think he's taken charge of the offense. But remember, when we get to a certain point of the game too, you're not seeing the same defenses that you would in the first or second quarter from an intensity or a scheming standpoint. So, but I do think he's done some very, very nice things.
Walsh here on the near sideline. Watch him. Heppel drops it, recovers nicely. Now he's going to throw it back towards Walsh. No, out of bounds. That play started poorly when he bobbled the snap, and then his timing was all off.
This will be the last play of the game. Well, not the start that the Red Wings wanted to have to the season. North looks very good, though.
No, you've got to give credit to North. They had talented kids on both sides of the ball. They executed their game plan. Roberts ran the ball very well. Aiden Gray was a great quarterback. And when they needed a big play, they could always throw to Williams. Heppel's going to throw down this near sideline.
And Mark, the lines were good, too.
Yes, both sides of the ball. Great side of the great blocking. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to conclude our broadcast tonight. The final from Benedictine University. The Naperville North Huskies 35, Benet Academy Red Wings 13. Thank you so much for checking in on us this week, and we hope to see you next week.